Good morning, students. Today I will continue chapter number 7, Weavers, Iron Smelters and Factory Owners from History. And today's topics are: number 1 is Indian textiles in European markets and what is spinning jenny. Topic number 2 is who were the weavers. So my dear students, in my previous explanation, as I told you about the fine material and very good quality of Indian fabrics and printed cloths which were exported from India into the all over the world and Europe and also for the European market. All right, students, as I told you that Indian textile and products of cotton were very fine quality and cheap in prices. That's why in the early 18th century, were worried by the popularity of Indian textiles, especially in Europe, in England, because wool and silk makers in England began protesting against the import of Indian cotton textiles. That's why in 1720 the Calico Act was introduced in England, which banned the use of printed cotton textile chins. Okay, and students, at this time textile industries had just begun to develop in England, and whatever materials produced by that textile industries that were unable to compete with Indian textiles. All right, that's why English producers wanted a secure market within the country by them, by preventing the entry of Indian textiles. So students, and the first to grow under government protection was the calico printing industry. All right, so Indian designs were now imitated and printed in England on white muslin or plain unbleached Indian cloth. Okay, so students, as I told you above, that competition with Indian textiles led to a search for technological innovation in England, and in 1764 the spinning jenny was invented by John Kye, which increased the productivity of the traditional spindles. So students, one question will arise here, that what is spinning jenny? So student, spinning jenny, a machine by which a single worker could operate several spindles onto which thread was spun, and when the wheel was turned, all the spindles rotated. Understood? And after some time later, in 1786, a steam engine was invented by Richard Arkwright, which revolutionized cotton textile weaving method also. Now, cloth could be woven in immense quantities or in enough quantities and cheaply too. Alright. But students, still, Indian textiles continued to dominate world trade till the end of the 18th century. And in this series, European trading companies and the Dutch, the French, and the English made large profits through textile trade with India. And these companies purchased cotton and silk textiles in India by importing silver. Okay? And when the English East India Company gained political power in Bengal, they used revenues from peasants and zamindars in India to buy Indian textiles. And due to that victory, Britishers no longer had to import precious metal to buy Indian goods. Alright. After that, your next topic is who were the weavers. And this topic is related to the totally Indian weavers during the time of British era and before the timing of British era. So students, weavers often belong to the communities that specialized in weaving, and their silk were or silk art and its skills were passed on from one generation to the next generation. And some communities famous for weaving, like the Tanti weavers of Bengal and the Julahas or Momin weavers of North India, Sale and Kaikollar and Devangs of South India are some of the communities famous for weaving. And students, the first stage of production was spinning, and that is mostly done by the women, in which charkha and the takli were used. Okay. After that, after weaving and spinning was done mostly by men, and for colored textile, the thread was dyed by the dyer, and that dyer known as rangrez. This is Urdu word, rangrez. Alright. And for printed cloth, the weavers needed the help of specialist block printers known as chippigar. Alright. After that, handloom weaving and the occupations related with it provided livelihood for millions of Indians. So students, the above topics which I had explained in front of you, it means a number of people were engaged in the process of making thread and spinning, and after that weaving and coloring the cloths, and block printers who were printed by the block method on the white bleached cloths for make it beautiful and printed. So students, now you can understand that in all these process a number of people were engaged and dependent to complete their needs and requirement and livelihood. So students, now we can say that earlier weaving, spinning and making fine materials, textiles by handloom were the main source of income and livelihood also for the Indian and Indians people. Alright students, and after the mechanization in Europe or England, still that time fine and very good quality cotton textile were famous in all over the world. Alright students, and due to its very cheap prices of different kind of cloths like muslin, jeans and khasa, exported by different companies from India to another part of the world and made enormous profit out of this flourishing textile trade. Alright students, so listen my lecture very carefully, and if you have any doubt anywhere, then contact to me. Alright, thank you and have a nice day.